TED Talk. Let's go! Woo! So for the past 20 years, I've been helping Malaysians and other Southeast Asians to speak better English. And through training thousands of the Southeast Asians, I've discovered a very surprising truth. I've discovered how well somebody communicates in English. Actually, it has very little to do with English level. It has a lot to do with their attitude towards English. There's all people out there who have a very low English and communicate skills very well. One of them, I remember, students or participants of my name Faisal. He was a factory supervisor. English level very low. But this guy could just sit and listen to anybody very calmly, clearly, and he could respond. Absolutely express his thoughts beautifully. It's a very low level English. And today I will share with you what is so different about people like Faisal. How they do it? And second about why it's so important not only to you, but to your children, to the community, and to the futures of Malaysia. And first of all, one thing you can do starting today, if you want to speak with a calm, clear confidence that people like Faisal have. First of all, what is so different? How do people like Faisal do it? So to answer that question, I'm going to back about 10 years, okay? So with training staff at this time, and my daughters at that time, I was taking piano lessons. And I starting to notice two really strong similarities between my daughter's attitudes or thinking towards playing the piano and a lot of Malaysians thinking or attitude towards English. Well, first of all, I should tell you, my daughters absolutely hate piano. Hated lessons, hated practicing. This is my daughter practicing piano, okay? This is good God. This is a real thing. And she's ready going to piano lessons because my daughter going to piano lessons. She was filled with the sort of dread because it was about not growing up, right? Because like a lot of piano students, both my daughter and her teacher, her success in piano was measured by how few mistakes she made. And when at the same time, I noticed a lot of Malaysians went to English conversations with the same sort of feeling of dread. This is a sort of feeling that we're going to judge how many mistakes that we're going to make and whether or not we're going to screw up. Now the second similarity I noticed with this self-image, my daughter, she knew what a piano sounds like, right? Because we all learned piano, and she knew what her level was, and she knew how long she had to play like that. And a lot of Malaysians, I noticed, had this idea of what good proper English is supposed to sound like. I worked there, I listened, and what their English sounds like, and how far they have to got there. And then I also feels like they were like my daughter, just bad piano player, bad English speakers, right? My English is not so good. I cannot. So I could see these similarities, but I still can't figure out, okay, what is about these people like Faisal that are so different? They can just do it smoothly, calmly, with confidence. One day I discovered that answer. I quite by chance. This was one day when my computer broke down and I had to go to the cyber cafe. Okay, this is my first time I discovered my cyber cafe at this place. It's really gross, it's smelly, and it's filled with boys. And they're all playing noisy, violent games. They're just disgusting places. But I have to go there. I sat down. I started noticing this beside me. I became very interesting in this guy to me. Now this guy is playing this game. It basically is like shooting people until they die. And that's it. That's the game, right? And I'm noticing that this guy is not very good. He's like in terrible, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of shooting and not much dying, right? What really interested me was behind the lousy player, with three of his friends starting watching him play. I really noticed was, even though this guy was terrible, even though his friend was watching him, there's no embarrassment, there's no feeling of being judged, there is show shyness. In fact, quite the opposite, this guy totally focused on the best guys, smile on his face. All he can think about is killing this guy, right? And I'm watching him, I suddenly realized this is it. This is the same attitude people flies out when they speak English, just like this guy. When Faisal goes into the English conversation, he doesn't feel judging, he entirely focus a person he's like speaking to and results he wants to get. He got no self-awareness, no thoughts about his mistakes. Broke. No, I want to share with you a real, true example. I paint a picture of somebody who speaks English like they're playing piano, and someone who speaks English like playing computer game. And this is a true story. Happened to me a while ago. I was in a pharmacy. I had to buy Omega. My daughter said I should get Omega. And I go to the shelf of tons of Omega. There's Omega's higher DHA, Omega that's high in EPA. I don't know which one to buy. And now the sales rep happened to be there. And I saw she's like a well-dressed, a professional woman. I work over her and I see this look at just me a shop up. It's look I recognize very well. Her eyes are go over a sort of the panic. Oh my God, I should speak a native speaker. She's going to judge me and notice my mistakes. I go up to her, I explain my situations, which Omega do I get? And then she started explaining to me everything about DHA and EPA you could possibly imagine. You speak very quickly, goes all around the circles, and when she finished, no idea what to buy. So I turned to the girl behind the counter. The counter behind the counter, I heard before her English level is very low. But when I walk over to her, this girl, there's no fear. In fact, she's just looking at me. You know that I look like, yeah, okay, so how? Oh my God, this is Malaysia a long time. So I go up to her and I explain the problem. She looks at me, she says, okay, EPA for heart, DHA for brain. Your heart's okay or not? So I said, yeah. I said my heart is really, it's everything pretty good. She says, your brain okay or not? I said, no. My brain is not good as it used to be. She looks and says, okay, you can take a make at DHA. Problem solved, right? So we got two different kinds of communicators. We got we got high level, but totally focused on herself getting it right. And that's for a very ineffective. We got another one, low level, totally focused on the person she's talking to and getting a result. It's effective. And there is life difference. Now, why this is a distinction so important not just to you, to your children, but your future of Malaysians and countries like Malaysia. And to answer that, let's take a look at who actually is speaking English in the world today. Okay? So we have looked at all of the English conversation in the whole world taking place right now on the planet Earth. We would say that's for every native speakers like me. There's 5 non-native speakers. And they will listen to every conversation in English on planet of Earth right now. We would notice 96% of those conversations involve non-native speakers. And only 4% of the conversation are native speakers to native speaker. This is not my language anymore. This language belongs to you. It's not an art to be mastered. It's just a tool to use to get a result. And I want to give you a real life example of what English is today in the word real English today. This is another true story. I was barbecue a little while ago. This is a barbecue for engineers from all over the world. And they were making hot dogs. Some of the hot dogs were regular hot dogs. Some were these cheese hot dog, with the cheese in the middle. French engineers is cooking the hot dogs. And he turned to the Korean engineer. He said, would you like a hot dog? And the Korean guy says, let's please. He says, do you want the cheese? And the Korean looks around the cheese. I have no cheese. The French guy said, the hot dog contains the cheese. The Korean guy doesn't understand him right, so the French engineer tries again. The hot dog is making from with the cheese. Korean guys don't understand. He tries again. The hot dog is coming from. No, the cheese come home. Korean guy cannot understand. Now this Japanese engineer who been listening to this conversation to turn to Korean engineer, as he says, she is integrator. He understands. Everybody understands. So this is what English is today. It's just a tool to play around with to get results, like a computer game. Now the challenge is that we know in school all around the world, English is not really being taught. It's like a tool to play with. It's still being taught like in art to master. And the students are judged more on correctness than on clarity. Some of you might remember that's all comprehension and exam in school. Everybody remember in school when you get questions about a text you read. You have to read through some text, right? And then answer a question to show that you understood that text. And this may happen to you that you show up you understood the text, but you got a big X because you made a little grammar mistake. Like this student. This student clearly understood paragraph 4, but no, not correct, because he left the letter end of the word environment. But in the real world, what would matter? In the real world, whether is did you understand the email and did you understand the customer, then can you go ahead and take action. Now the problem that I see here over and over, that people take an attitude they develop about English in school and they bring it into the adult life, into their work. And if you're in a stressful situation, you're having a conversation and you're trying to give a result to someone and say it correctly, your brain multitask cannot do anything as one. And then when I see the brain just shutting down, and you may recognize the 3 symptoms of the brain shutting down. The first one is your listening ghost. Someone is talking to you and you're so busy thinking about how you're going to respond and express yourself correctly. You don't actually hear what other person said. And I see a lot of nodding in the audience. The second thing goes to your speaking. Your mind shuts down, a vocabulary you do know just disappears. The words don't come out. The first thing to go to your confidence. And the worst thing about this is you may only a confidence because you cannot express yourself clearly. But to that person talking to you, they may understand this. That's a lack of confidence in your abilities to the job, to perform. So if you want to speak English like Faisal without great confidence, here's the one thing that you can do. When you speak, don't focus on yourself. Focus on the other person and the results you want to achieve. Imagine a next generation of Malaysians with all the wonderful confidence in the communication that Phai Giao has at any level of English. Because let's remember that English today is not an art to be mastered. It's just a tool to use to get a result. And that tool belongs to you. Woo! Thank you!